Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm late. I'm just setting up now. Okay. Am I late? No, I'm actually not late. I think I'm quite early. I'm quite. I'm early. I'm I'm quite early. I'm just trying to. Okay, so just give me 5 minutes. I'm trying to consult with my uh panelists. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll be back just now. All right. Good day, everyone. I was just rushing to try and get. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing fine. I can tell that it's a very good day to relax. This for sports lovers and generally parents unwinding with their kids and people just hanging out. It's Saturday. So I had a poll on several groups on how we should go about the show, and everybody overwhelmingly and convincingly chose Saturdays. So our streaming days will be Saturdays, purely Saturdays at this time. So I tried it on Wednesday and I saw that okay, yeah, really, people are always going to be busy and all that. So, other than that, how are you all doing? How are you all doing? Now, today we're back with a special topic for today, which is arranged marriages. In fact, let me put it up. Arranged marriages. Uh, 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Arranged marriages. Are they still relevant today? Okay, so I think I'll put this up. Yeah, arranged marriages, are they still relevant today? Oh, hi Cheryl, you remembered. Okay, nice. Try and come up today. Do you want to? Are you busy? Come up if you can. Today is Saturday, so and I believe everyone should be in a relaxing mode right now. Let me switch my mic source. Okay, okay, this is much better. So, today's subject is arranged marriages. We know that in time past, before our time, this used to be the norm when people, when a man or a woman is has come of age for marriage. Usually the family arranges these things, they find suitors for like uh, they find suitors for either the daughters or the son, depending on the culture and how they go about it. And sorry, and depending on the culture and how they choose to go about it, because the way it's done in Africa is different from the way it's done in Asia, for different Asian cultures, and it's also different from how it's done in what's the name? It's different from how it's done in India, Japan, China. Then there are also other cultures, and I also just found out that there are some Eastern European cultures that still practice these things. Then the Middle East, that's Arab countries, they all do that too. So and oh, okay, okay, so they all do that too. So oh, okay, hey, Wumi, what's up? You finally made
Hi,
you finally made it.
network is really crappy today.
Oh,
MTN is not doing us well.
it's Saturday. Everybody's at home.
Mhm.
Everybody's at home, so it's Saturday.
Nigeria's network is that's a peculiar case. So I don't know.
Don't worry, things will get better. Don't worry. What people are like, what are you saying? what, what am I supposed to say? So I was just giving
That's
a
how
brief.
it is.
I was just briefing everyone about. Okay, please show the notification on the group that we are live now. I think I need to send everybody.
Let me do that. I'll be right back.
Okay, okay. So I was talking about different cultures involved in. Sorry, just you that mic. Okay. So I was talking about different cultures where where this practice is basically carried on to, even till this day they still practice that way. Now here's the thing: there are different reasons for this, because back in the days, marriages used to be transactional. Like, you didn't marry for love, you didn't marry because of love, of feelings or things like that. It was oh, 1 second. Okay. So people didn't marry because of feelings and emotions. So it was purely a transactional thing. Either if you have two warring, the concept of countries is not the way it is now. Just small pockets of, either towns or villages or kindreds or whatever. So if they had a warring, what do you call it? If there was a warring neighbor, they usually, what they did was that they kind of came to the conclusion of things like, okay, you marry my daughter, my son marries your daughter, or my daughter marries your son. Then by forging that kind of marriage, you find that they have the marriage is kind of a seal on a peace treaty. So when you have their children from these different people getting married, then they kind of like, okay, a peace has been a peace deal had been secured. Then others did it for commerce. This very rich family wants to become a mega rich family, so they meet another rich family, and they feel that by coming together, by uniting their children. Hey, welcome, Mr. Consequence. I was trying to reach.
Sorry that I'm late, Jerry.
No problem. I'm still giving the dialogue. Give you the dialogue.
All
So,
right.
so for commercial purposes, had sense because
Log that down.
so the commercial purposes also made sense because when two rich families, or if a family is not up to that standard, they tend to merge with the other family that is up to that certain level they are aspiring to reach, and by doing so they also become rich. So it's book is here. Welcome, Madam Bukola.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm quarreling with you. You didn't invite me yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shehu Sean is here. Okay, so everybody's coming now. Hey, Shehu, say you dark. You still come
Hi,
put.
Mr. Kelly. Thanks for yesterday.
Is it only your teeth I dey see? Welcome, sir. Yeah,
My
welcome, sir.
brother, how
Yeah.
now?
Now they see you now. You just dey inside darkness. Only your teeth I can't dey see.
Make I try look for where.
Where you were just now was quite okay. Okay, so yeah, back to what. Let me just finish uh, the the dialogue or monologue, then everybody will just carry on. So, now for the commercial purposes, it came in two ways. Either two families trying to keep generational wealth, right? They 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 bond together, and the union kind of makes them bigger. Or if a more powerful family reaches out to a lesser powerful, yes, okay, I've muted it. So it could be socially powerful or financially powerful, whatever form. When this other family, the lower class joins the upper class, they level up. Then then parents then were considered to be very, very fastidious and meticulous when it came to choice of spouses, because they carry out loads of investigations. Like they want to know this family my child is married into. Are they? Do they have mental illness or certain kind of generational? What's how they call that thing? This is when you have an illness within the family, hereditary form of illness, or they are known for a kind of a terrible taboo that the family is known for doing generations to generations. And just are they scandalous? Are they well brought up? So they always try to know. I'm saying this because I went through it as a modern person. Before I got married, my wife's people, sent people to my people to meet them, and my people sent people to my wife's people to meet them. Just to cross the T's and dot the I's. So, but today we find situations whereby we have a culture or a society that is constantly encouraging young people to disregard their parents and follow their hearts. So following their hearts means that you could just be walking on the street and just see a strange girl and or a strange guy. Immediately you start your relationship, and wherever it leads, you get married. And there are advantages and disadvantages to it, but I don't want to preempt everybody's submission. So I'll just allow everybody to speak one after the other. Then I'll come back and chime in. Omawumi, are you ready now? Omawumi, she came in.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, yeah. So tell us what you have to give us your views on this subject.
Yeah, pre-arranged marriage. This has been on for decades. We have it's actually more pronounced back in the olden days, where you have parents that maybe are influential in the society. So in order to foster their business partnership with each other, they want to keep that circle of the influential, the rich business partners. They want to keep it going. They want to keep the relationship going. So they feel if my daughter marries your son, their business partners, definitely both of them will carry on with the business, and then they believe it solidifies their businesses. It gives their business a much more solid future. It happens back in the olden days, and it still happens now. But I'd rather say with the kind of generation that we have now, especially these Gen Z kids, these millennium kids, it's actually very difficult for parents to impose arranged marriage on these children. Reason being that these kids, I don't know, one of my pastors once said this, that millennial kids are it's like they were born with that spirit of rebellion. They don't want to listen to whatever anybody wants to say. They want to do their own thing. So I find it much more difficult to believe that arranged marriages are working in this present generation that we have. Even if they agree to it in the first place, maybe because of parental pressure and all that, by the time they enter into the marriage, trust me, it won't last. Because everybody wants to have their own space. I want to do my thing. This thing is not what we didn't meet each other on a neutral platform. I didn't see you and say I love you. You didn't see me and say you love me. It was our parents or acquaintances that brought us together. So we have some people that were introduced to each other and they got to love each other along the line. But that percentage is very, very low compared to when you have people that were prearranged together, they were brought together because of one reason or the other, and they say they should go into marriage because of that. Usually for like 90%, I would rather say 90% of those marriages, it's either, if you see people staying in prearranged marriages, it is either because they cannot escape that pressure from their parents or family, or they have their own financial interest in it. You know, they stand to gain something in it. So that's why they want to stick with it. But you find out that most of these prearranged marriages, they are just a need for the benefits. Behind in their private lives, they may go out to seek for who they really love, who they really want to be with, but they just make the marriage there, like a figurehead, official. This is my wife. I have to be in this marriage because of this reason. But the person I truly love, the person I truly want to spend the rest of my life with, I would rather have affairs with such people outside. So it's, to me, it is kind of disastrous. It doesn't really work, especially in this millennium society that we are, with these millennium kids and generation that we are. I mean, I don't see it really thriving. So that's all I have to say for now.
Oh, okay. Thanks for your submission. To some extent, well, I won't say anything now. Let's go around first. I think Mr. Consequence came second, right? Yeah, okay. So, do you want to go now or you want to go?
No, no, I can go. I can go. No problem.
Okay, shoot.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Stabuki, how are you doing?
I'm good. Shalom.
Yeah, shalom, sis. So, anyways, the first thing I think we have to look into is why do they even have prearranged marriages? The reason why they have prearranged marriages is in events where you, as the man, is unmarried and you are due for marriage, and your parents or family are looking out for a suitable helpmate for you. Sometimes you have to understand that once upon a time you marry as close to home as possible. All right, let's start that way. You marry as close to home as possible. It is only on rare instances that people marry far away from home. So usually people marry as close to home as possible. Now, we have cases where people travel. Men will travel out to go work. Okay, and when they are out there working, all right, they usually do not have time to search for woman that is suitable for wife, right? Now, whilst we have a culture of going outside home to go work to make ends meet, when it comes to marrying, we tend to want to marry close to home. Now, oftentimes our family and parents are the ones that are more home than us. So they start looking out for a woman that is suitable for you. What are they looking at? They are looking at the family. Okay, they are looking at the family. They are vetting, basically. They are vetting a woman for you. They are looking at the family, looking at the history of the family. How do they treat their men? How do they treat their women? What do they do in their family? Because, and this is very key, we tend to forget that more often than not, the home we come out from and how they do in our home affects us, plays a role in our own and in how we turn out. So they are looking into all these things. They are not limiting marriage to just individuals. They are looking at the home that you come out from. What history do you have? Do you guys have history of stealing? History of using each other for ritual? History of disrespecting your men or your women? History of some sort of taboo that you as the child might even inherit? These are the things they are looking at to make judgment of, or to vet who they would want for their child. They take marriage seriously. All right, they consider marriage to be a very, very serious affair. That is what they are doing. But it is important for people to also know that the woman here is not the only one that is being vetted. The man also is being vetted, because when you come to the house of the parent of the woman, they're also going to look at the people that are coming to them. Who are you? Then they will vet you as well to see if they would release their child to you, their daughter to you for marriage. They take these things very seriously. All right. It is a concept that they understand that when you are marrying an individual, you're not just marrying that individual, you're also marrying into their family. Okay, you're also marrying into their family. So they take these things very, very seriously. Fast forward to today. Okay, fast forward to today. We still have the same culture, interestingly. But today, I would even prefer how they do it way back then to how we do it today. I've seen on Instagram pages where they say it's hookup page. They put the picture of the lady there. There's a sister on my page. What's that her name? I think she's in America. She'll just put pictures of some ladies on her page, and then we say, somebody's son, come. Now, the only thing you are using to start your work with is the look. And we are crazy about looks these days, because how we marry these days is first we look at the look, and then we ask, what job do you do? Okay? We don't care how your parents raise you. We don't care the type of background that you're coming from. We don't care. We usually do not even have time to investigate what do they do in your home. How did they treat you? How did they treat each other? What is the issue from the background? So once I see a sister Buki that is looking so gorgeous, the next thing I want to ask next is, what do you do? To just see that you're not an Olosho. That is the only thing. After then, I want to see how you and I laugh with each other given that period. Some of these things can strive on pretense, pending when we marry each other properly. Okay, but our parents, they have a knowledge that is very important, where they investigate your home. We don't do all those investigation now. So then you go carry from hookup pages, you carry and then you marry. The vetting process is just this micro tiny. Okay, give me the look. What do you do? She has a job. She's not a Olosho. Boom, marry. So the difference between the process way back then and the process now is the way it is done way back then and the way it is done now is the effort that is put into vetting. Now you may make a case that, oh, you didn't see your wife that you want to marry. Okay, you may make a case that you didn't see your wife that you want to marry. Okay, in those days, but you eventually get to see the look. But the character is established even before the look is slapped on the distance. Today, we just look at the look, not caring about the character. And look can only do but a little in most marriages. For good time, okay, look is good for good time. But in the long run, it is more than look that sustain marriage. So yes, I don't see anything that is wrong with arranged marriage, okay, or pre-arranged marriages. I really do not see anything that is wrong with it. Okay, so I will leave it at that, so someone else can just take over.
Thank you very much for your submission. As usual, we're always excited to hear from you and all that. So I think the next person is Shehu. Was it Shehu or Bukola? Who came first? Okay, Bukola, you go. Bukola, you go.
First,
Bukola.
good morning, everyone.
Good day.
Um, Arranged marriage in those days worked really well. I would say maybe close to 95. And the reason why it worked really well then was because of the communal thing that was going on then. We do not have so many people to listen to back then. We don't have people on social media that would influence you. Basically, what was influencing us then was our environment, our parents, and in looking out for a spouse for us then, they consider so many things. So they don't just pick a spouse just because they see them on the streets. They pick someone maybe because of the way they treat their wives. And I remember the first time I traveled to the village with my husband, to Benin with my husband, I remember one woman was saying, "Oh, in this family, we have a history of taking care of our wives, Those are most of the things that we're banked on then. Your parents go out, they see the best for you, and they embrace it. They bring it back home. It's more of a veto power then, where you do not really have a say, but then it still worked. It worked because it worked not because of your beauty, not because of any other thing, but whatever you can bring to the table. Although beauties were considered then maybe for the kings, but mostly it was more of your morale then. They want to know that you've not rubbished yourself, they want to know that you're from a good family, you have a good parental background, you're doing okay. For arranged marriage, do you know that it's still in existence in some countries as I speak with you right now? And I checked when I just had to quickly go and check the rate of divorce in that country. Pakistan, they still do arranged marriages. Japan, they still do arranged marriages. Iran, Indonesia, Bangladesh, South Korea, they still do arranged marriages. And I just went, let me even check the rate of divorce. And I discovered that 68% of the population is actually married and 0.57% are divorced, which is, to me, that's a good rate. And they still do arranged marriages. And I was wondering, okay, so what is wrong, with all the marriages that we are seeing today? The marriages that you picked yourself, nobody is picking anybody for you. You see them, you like them, and yet you cannot survive 1 week. Some cannot even survive 2 weeks. Some cannot survive 1 month. And the divorce rate, I checked US looks too. I see that they still have 4% of arranged marriages in the United States, right? That means people are still arranging marriages. Left for me, I would want marriage to go back to that communal decision they were making in those days. Because now that we think we are smarter than our parents, now that we think we know the best, that we know the best for ourselves, now that we feel we are more educated, enlightened, marriages are still not working. So why can't we go back to how they were doing it then, and we still have some people who are happily married? I haven't said that. We still have arranged marriages even in Nigeria, but maybe to the rich. Buhari's children will not just bring anybody home to marry. I can tell you that for sure. Few days ago I was talking about Omotola, and I was telling my friend that, let me tell you, Omotola, she protects her kids, right? Unlike some actresses that I see online, their kids are everywhere from, trying to sell them. I know, yes, Omotola's kids too, they dress the way they want to dress. But I was telling that person that if you notice, she protects her kids. And we're just guessing, assuming that Omotola will not just allow her children to bring anybody back home. I know she will be looking at high places for her kids, you understand, just to keep that family, that togetherness going. So for me, arranged marriage, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because I see how it worked. And if you're still working in countries like Pakistan and they have 80% of their population being married, oh my God, that's a lot to me. That means arranged marriage can still work. So on this note, I love arranged marriages, even though I still do matchmaking. But there is a little that I can do with matchmaking. I can't start calling your town or your villages, whatever I see on your media, and sometimes I call your pastors. Those are just the little things that I bank on, and I just hand them over to each other. But to me, arranged marriage is still the best. Maybe a little bit of adjustment where you can say, oh, okay, this person is this person of that is that, because in back then we do not really have that power. Once they say this person is suitable for you, that's all you have to go for. Maybe a little bit of adjustment of, okay, you have a little say, not that we just bring the person with that we think is perfect for you, then we expect you to just embrace that person and run with it. So arranged marriage marriage. I do not stand against it. It worked in those days. It's still working up to now. And if you remember then, even when the wives misbehave then, it's not just the husband that will take the decision. The whole community will still take this decision. They will sit down, they will analyze it, they will see the husband's faults, they settle them amicably. And sometimes the husband will say, I don't want again. And they will say, go and return the bride price, because a lot of people are involved. So arranged marriage, to me, it's not a bad thing. I wouldn't mind if it comes back to this generation, maybe a little bit of fine tuning where you should have a say, not that they will pick and that's final. So for an arranged marriage, yes, it's still the best, and I hold on to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Bukola. Always very fascinating to hear from you. I appreciate your input. I think the next person is Shion now. Yes, Shion. Shion, unmute yourself. Okay, yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, arranged marriages, it's been there for like forever, and everyone that has spoken about the subject have done justice. But, the modern era which we are in right now, there's really no difference between pre-arranged marriage, arranged marriage, and matchmaking. Really no difference. It's a group of concerned individuals looking out for a particular person or particular persons, then introducing them, making them link or making their paths cross, But the difference the difference I see between the one way back then is that the process is kind of thorough. Families are involved, and you discipline is there for them way back then. Unfortunately, these days we've literally thrown discipline to the dogs. What kind of family are you from? They investigate, and oftentimes you find out that someone mentioned that too. Maybe a class, a particular class in the society, especially the rich. Chief A is a good friend of Chief B, and they want, their relationship or the ties they have business-wise to continue. But all those things, they especially when it is based on improving finances for generation and all that, I don't think they really last. The motive for bringing those two people together, if it is really based on, because we are talking of two individuals who will spend the rest of their lives together. You can't be basing their union on your own perception, in quotes, on your own projections. They have their lives to live, But when the families or the people involved in vetting, so to speak, they are bent on looking out for, these traits, these virtues especially. These people are noted for this. These people are like this. Those people are like that. It would be a good thing if you have a wife from this place. Then more often than not, because they are talking about characters, their characteristics in that place. So you find out that before now, we see those kind of marriages as marriages that one can they are exemplary, their marriages, one can say, oh, it worked or it is working. But the minute it's mainly about, oh, business or this, that, problems begin to emanate from such marriages. And like someone said earlier, she matchmakes. I too, I at least I can pinpoint maybe 3 marriages I've had a hand in, and everything is going on smoothly. You know, I remember when I first got married, and my wife and I would talk about our friends who are unmarried or whatever. I said, look, and she used to tell me, you just like introducing Mr. A and Miss B and all that. I said, what's the point now? If I know that I have a friend who is a good person, a good-hearted person, who I can vouch for, and I see any of your friend, or I see someone that I happen to know that is of the opposite sex, and I know the person is cool too, why not introduce them? Because at the end of the day, you find out that someone will just come from somewhere, someone will just pick up someone. And so I think it's a form of prearranged, but it's just that you introduce them and hope for the best. And like I said, oftentimes they turn out well. Everything, it won't be easy or rosy at some point anyway. No matter, I don't think there's any marriage that is just uphill all the time. But if the olden process of arranged marriages, if we can stick to the virtues or the standard, if there was any really cut out standard anyway, I think it works. It does. When the emphasis is on the background, nobody will want to introduce a wayward lady who speaks anyhow, or so who doesn't have a proper home training or bringing, if you will. Nobody wants to recommend or ask someone to go and meet such person. I wouldn't anyway. So I think it's good, it's just a form of people looking out for people, and it's good. Unfortunately, like I said, these days, things are not based on the kind of virtues that were looked out for way back. It's just unfortunate. People do things anyhow these days. There's no, but I also believe in that. I also believe in pre-arranged marriages, if the basics are the right ones, not just is my business partner kind of thing. They work. They're good.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate your contribution, Mr.
Thank you.
Sheo. Always fabulous as usual. I think the next person should be Bouquet, right? Yeah, if I'm not
Hi,
mistaken. Yeah, I think you're the next person, right?
I think so.
Okay, so shoot.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Um,
Hello.
I echo everything that's been said, especially what Sister Bukola, said. It's good to hear, facts and figures concerning this particular issue. Now, I think the reason why arranged marriages worked so well in the past is simply because they were less about the two individuals and more about the family, the community, and the culture. And also bearing in mind that those two people that were thrown into that marriage would have already been raised with the understanding that this was something that was expected of them. And so, with that in mind, they were not resistant to it so much. They understood that this was a duty. It was, about the honor of the family, and not just about, you know, their pleasure, their needs within. So it's provided an incentive for the marriage to work, because it wasn't just about the two people. There was other people that they had to think about. And so going into that kind of marriage, there was most likely less bias and expectations about the person. It was they were probably more open-minded, going in with the understanding that this is a duty. The woman would have been taught what her duties are. The man would have been taught what his duties are. So it was a case of those two people now coming together to act those things out. And it then didn't allow a lot of room for failure. That's not to say that they weren't failures. I'm sure they were, but for the greater part, they worked because they were about duty and not about personal pleasure. Now, fast forwarding to what marriage is today. um, Marriage is like relationship, has been so romanticized, not rooted in reality, but been romanticized in movies, by celebrities and stuff like that. And so the value and appreciation and understanding and the duty that is required in marriage has greatly been reduced. The value has also been impacted by the fact that it's so quick and easy for people to be able to get a divorce. The incentive there to really work hard and give your all to a marriage is not as much, because you can get divorced. And also where women have, you know, tasted empowerment and freedom to grow and develop and do the things that they want to do, that also has impacted the value of them wanting marriage, so much. So it's for me, it's a case of, um in this day and age, that old sense of marriage, you know, is needed, but it is not relevant in this day and age. Why? Because people don't value it. You can't. It's not going to work because people don't value it. You understand? And the other darker side of arranged marriage that I haven't heard anybody talk about is the lack of agency for the woman, um, where there's a greater likelihood of abuse, because it's a given that because the whole family community are involved, it's harder for a woman who wants to break out of that situation. She's likely to experience more abuse in that kind of situation, because so much expectation is put on that union. So if two people that have an understanding of what marriage is really about, and it's got nothing to do with yourself, but everything to do with you understanding that you are part of a team, and understanding your position in that team. Not everybody is captain, not everybody is, right wing player, not everybody is goalkeeper. Everybody has this. So with that understanding and the intentionality to make it work, marriages would work by choice, where people have chosen, they have the understanding of what it's about. But looking at the way things are, I'm more in favor of arranged marriages coming back to get people to engage with the value of it, because we don't value marriage now at all.
Oh, thank you very much, Sister Buki. Always a pleasure listening to you, hearing your opinions. That was a nice one. I kind of liked it. Now, before the next person comes on, please, if you are watching, help us with the algorithm. Click the like buttons. It's not going. I don't think they charge money to click likes. No, it's free. So just click the like buttons if you are watching now and you're enjoying the program. Click if you're on YouTube, most especially YouTube. Click the like button. If you're on Facebook, equally the same thing. Twitter, TikTok, Did I stream to TikTok? Oh, no, I didn't. I don't think I streamed to TikTok. But please just help us by clicking the like button and leaving your comments. We'll display all your comments if you are watching from whatever platform you're watching. Just send your comments. We'll display it for you. Okay. So I think the next person is my Cape Town daddy is here, Dr. Fashion. Hey, okay. So let me start with Ifeanyi first. Then we will make it down to uh my Cape Town daddy. Ifeanyi, are you ready? Hello.
Ron, can you hear me? I'm in a very noisy place, so I'm trying to find a quiet place. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you
We
hear me,
can
Ron?
hear you clearly. We can hear
Hello,
you
can you hear
clearly.
me?
Yes, 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 yes. Yes. We can hear you.
Can you hear me, Ron? Can you?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Somebody's that's the one. Oh, okay. We can hear you. I think he's struggling with the.
I'm trying to find a quiet place so I can actually give my
Okay, take your
input
time.
on it.
Okay, find a spot, then let me know.
Okay, I'm getting feedback. So
Okay,
if
find this
you can hear me,
place.
just say yes, Ron.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So
Oh dear.
It's breaking up again. Okay, find a nice spot. Just find a nice spot, then come back on. Oh, what happened to that is off again. Okay, when it comes back. So okay, let me say a few things here. Now that a couple of us have gone round. Now the thing is, we okay. That is. Oh, okay. Daddy is back. Are you ready to join us, Daddy? It's your turn now.
Okay. Well, I've already written what I wanted to say. I
No,
said that,
these people, everybody here, they need word of wisdom. So let them hear very wise man talk to them today, so that they will learn. So
yeah,
that
I
they.
just said, yeah, okay, thank you very much, colleague. It has been a very interesting discourse. I agree that arranged marriage used to work in the past, but the present socioeconomic and a great deal of urbanization present a very complex challenge. First, yes, our parents used to observe, they had data about people whom they can recommend. People are busy these days. Even such things are no longer there. Parents are somewhere else. They are living far away from the villages or from their places of origin. So they don't even know the real people. Except now, even where they are living, they don't even know their neighbors. How can they then recommend people? So I see it as a challenge. It's no longer, in my own opinion, valuable these days. It's not practicable because of all these dynamics. Things have changed. People have different tastes. Even the children, I mean, everybody has different tastes now. The worldview has since changed. I listened to my sister who said that it is still being practiced in Pakistan and in other places. Well, okay, but I'm still saying they also have their own challenges. Yeah, that's just my submission. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Daddy. As usual, it's
Can
always
I
sweet.
can I just say I think it's working in cultures that still value culture. Nigeria especially is, I feel is at a crossroad where it is battling with holding on to its culture and embracing the Western way of living. in those places like Pakistan and Japan, if you go to those countries, you will see that they are still fully in touch with their cultures. And so that's why they have a greater percentage of arranged marriages working. So if we were still as strongly linked to our culture, we would still have it. We would still be able to play upon it. But I do agree with what is being said, and I echoed it. It's not relevant today because it is not valued, and because we are not in touch with our culture.
You're mute. You're muted, Kelly.
You're muted, Kelly.
Yes, Tabuki, is it possible that it is because we are all speaking from those who are living in the urban civilization? Because I can remember I have a brother who follows me on Instagram. He lives in Morocco. He's an Igbo guy. His mom passed some months ago. They arranged his marriage for him. And he came all the way from Morocco to come and marry from their village. I think people are still coming back to marry, because that is what arranged marriage is. People are still coming back to marry. And I still believe that people, like I said, the entire hookup culture today, the difference that I'm seeing is today, we limit marriage to two individuals. So we don't see the need for those background work. People still do hook up every other day. Today, in fact, arranged marriage today is even what we are seeing today is arranged marriage the most. Because one of the most thriving business you can open on social media right now is hookup business.
Okay, so as a form of arrange, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that is the most thriving business you can open right now on social media. People are relationship.
I beg to say, Mr. Kelly, what we see on social media is not arranged marriage. Most of those people, they arrange each other for 1 week, 1 day. It's not arranged marriage. They see each other.
It's the concept, isn't it?
It is arranged marriage built on limiting, which I explained earlier on. What is arranged marriage? Bringing, once upon a time, people socialize, in-person socialization, right? I meet you, Sister Buki is my friend, and then we became friends. We grew up together. I know Sister Buki, I decided to marry Sister Buki. In cases where that is not available, that is where arranged marriage comes in. Arranged marriage simply means marrying someone that you didn't know, you personally do not know so much about, but your parents are helping you, your parents or family are helping you to do the background work. That is what arranged marriage is. Correct? Do you understand? That was what it was. Bringing together two individuals that didn't really know each other, but their parent or family have done the background work and they find them suitable for each other. Now they are going to go and inform their sons and daughters that we find you someone that is suitable for you. Their son, the son or the daughter, is trusting the parents that they are making the best decision for them. Look was not the biggest thing.
How are you putting that on what you just said with modern day hookups?
Today, in the other hand, the difference today, which I explained earlier on, is we don't do so much of the background work. So today, what is hookup? You are going to bring someone, post a picture of a total stranger that I didn't grow up with, I didn't know anything about, and the only thing I'm seeing is picture, and I'm trusting whoever is posting the picture that they have found someone that is reasonable. Now, the first thing I'm going to see is the picture. From the picture, I'm going to express interest. And then boom, we can take it on from there. That's what we're seeing today.
I think I'm misunderstanding what you mean by hookup. Maybe Bukola is the same. For me, my understanding of hookup is people that get together to date and have sex.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that is part of it.
Hookup in this day, the definition is different from what you're given right now. This is not hookup. Matchmaking would be a better word for what you're describing.
What?
Not hookup. Hookup, they are mostly.
What would be a better definition?
No, hookup.
Matchmaking, she said.
Matchmaking would be a better definition. Hookup
and matchmaking is the same thing. You didn't know so much about.
Hookup, they are escort.
Hookup is
It's different. It's different.
Hookup is sex-based, Kelly.
It's sex-based, exactly.
Sister Buki.
That's what the
Sister
media
Buki.
is giving it.
Sister Buki.
Matchmaking will be a better
Why hookup is, in fact, we can even look it up, don't worry. Why hookup is becoming sex based is most people who hook up only want to have sex. All right. But the main thing I'm seeing here is hookup means you are bringing two people together. Now go do what you want to do with each other. Oftentimes people just want to have sex because we are sex crazy today. Matchmaking, hookup. Okay, what's the difference between matchmaking and hookup, by the way? What I see, I will let you explain, Ibis. What I see from matchmaking is
the definition. If you check it right now on Google, you will see that the definition is still the same, linking people together,
then hookup is what?
That's what I'm saying. That's what the definition is. No, calm down, Mr. Kelly. So that's what the definition is, bringing people together to start a relationship, introducing someone to someone. But unfortunately, what present generation is using the term hookup for, it's just like dating and courtship. They just use it the way they want to use it. It's not the same thing,
Okay, but I am right that matchmaking and hookup, by definition, and this means the same.
Means the same, but that's not what they practice. That's what I'm.
I just gave you a definition of what they want to do. So
yeah,
I give you
what the hookup right now is sex based. A married man needs two girls for the night.
Yes, I understand. I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But I'm saying that hookup, by definition, and matchmaking is just the same meaning. It means simply the same. Now, I understand that today people just want to have sex and they do it with, yes, I agree with you. They do it under hookup more. But the meaning of hookup and matchmaking, which is what I'm going by, but let me go back to the discussion that I'm having, right? Let me go back to the discussion I'm having. So back to what I'm saying, right? So the difference today is, be it matchmaking, okay, let's use matchmaking. The difference between matchmaking today and a pre-arranged marriage way back then is the groundwork. The groundwork is more thorough way back then than today. In matchmaking, you can only just say, he said he wants this. I want a woman who is 6 feet tall, between so age. I'm telling you what matchmaking is. She's there. All right. I want a woman height, complexion. Okay. I want a woman whose height is so and so, complexion is so and so. She sleeps. We are getting background noise. Okay, so matchmaking today is, I want a woman who is between age A and Z, okay, the height A and B, location this and that. Do you understand? And origin, or where they are from, this and that. Do you understand? That is the principal thing in matchmaking. Do you understand? Okay, some will now sprinkle it with must be God fearing. Some say they don't care if it's God fearing. Then the other one will sprinkle it with must love sex. Boom, that is it. More often than not, I don't see matchmaking that includes which background does he or she come from. I don't see it in matchmaking. Okay, what family? How is the father and mother? Are they married together? Blah 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 blah. This is never part of what matchmaking does. So what I'm saying then is, the work that goes into pre-arranged marriage in those days is more thorough than the work that goes into matchmaking today. Matchmaking today is just usually limited to two individuals, and we need to do better than that. Maybe this is why we are not making so much progress around it today.
Okay, thanks. Okay, before we go back to Sister Buki, we have a new guest. We have it's my Oga James Bagudu. He's going to come. I'm going to allow him give his own opinion. Then I'll circle back to Buki. Then we'll go around again. Okay, Oga James, you're on now. Okay, let me. Can you hear us? Oh, I think.
Where's that noise coming?
I think it's Mike. Wait. Okay, wait. Okay, James, log out and log in again. I think there's something wrong with that connection. Log out of the stream here, then log in again. Let me. Okay, so he will come back again. So I was seeing somebody else. Okay, so Oh, Binta, you can join if you want. I gave you the link to come in. Okay, so there's something we are missing in this whole equation, eh? Okay, Sister Buki, come in, then I'll say something.
Yes, I wanted to deposit the idea, an idea against arranged marriages, because to my understanding, that transition for a man into manhood is his God-given right to choose a mate according to biblical principle. He that finds a wife finds a good thing, not his family looking for a woman for him. Yes, for me, I'm just depositing this idea, because arranged marriage is accepted, yes, because it's something that is.
Huh? I think it's Oga James. Can you use your laptop instead of the phone? I think you're using if
Go
you're
on,
using
Sister Buki, please.
no,
Yes.
wait. Oga James, if you're using a phone, switch to a laptop. If you're using a laptop, switch to a phone. I think there's something wrong with the audio of your device. Okay, so Sister Buki, continue.
Yes, I wanted us to just have a brief discussion on this idea, because I think that there is something that is lost for the man when that decision is made for him. And that task is something that defines his entry into manhood, his entry into that headship role of finding a wife and building something with her. If a woman is already being dictated for him and he's just following the choice of his parents, then what does that say about his manhood, his, his authority as a man? So can we
I
Kelly,
think
Kelly, take this before I take it.
I think it is important for us to know that the man himself is willing and ready for marriage. It's not like he's choked. He's not like I'm impressing this on you. As this is a
But that's
man,
not
not a.
always the case, Kelly. You know that
For men,
not
it is
not all
always the
not
case
all
for men.
arranged marriages are
Hold on,
chosen by the people involved. It's about the families, it's about the parents.
Sister
They
Buki.
put that pressure on them to marry.
On men, no. Maybe on women, yes. On men, no. On women, yes. That's what I've said. I'm telling you. On men, no. On women, yes.
Kelly, can I throw in something for Sister Buki so that she will understand how it works? You do realize that today that there are statistics that are saying that 1/3 of the male population today cannot approach women to even say hello or goodbye.
No, I
Because
understand that, but it's
I'm going somewhere with this. Back then, that kind of situation did not exist because it was expected when he approaches a certain age that, in fact, let me even tell you how it is. Back then, we are reasoning it with modern constructs. If we go back in time, it's not the way you're seeing it now that it was then. Back then, when a man gets to a certain age, especially, let's even look at the noble families or nobility, you see that when he gets to a certain age, whether he's extrovert or introvert or outspoken or timid really doesn't come to the equation. What happens is that when that time comes, they tell, okay, they start preparing him. And that's what we missed from this conversation. Arranged marriages, they don't just come and dump two people like that and say, oh yeah, marry, procreate.
I
Then
bet I beg to differ. There is a pressure, there is a societal pressure. Hold.
let me finish. You guys have already given your opinion. Let me finish. So in this situation, what happens is there's a process, or there's a coaching process both for the man and the woman. From the day a boy is born, the men around him are already teaching him how to become a man. So it's either he's following his father to go and hunt, or he's following his father to go and farm, or he's following his father to do whatever it is. Then when the father is not around, there are other male in the family structure who show him how to become a man. Now, the conversation between father and son from that tender age upward will always be about defense, protection of the family, provision of the family, being responsible from a tender age, you already understand that the weight of being a man is not a joke, that you have to be responsible for a family. And they reward people who do these things. They reward males in the community. Oh, the bravest person, the one that provided the most, the one that took care of the family the best. There was always a reward for this kind of, hey, welcome, welcome.
Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Victor.
Kelly. Hi, everyone.
Okay. So there was always a reward process. Now for women, once a girl is selected for, and again, I don't need to rehash this. Girls from birth are always taught nurturing, taking care of, and all that. There's a reason for it. Now, I always use Calabar people as example. When Calabar people want to marry, they go to that fattening room, right? The whole concept of fattening room is training the girl in the arts and the art of marriage, taking care of your husband first, then your children. So there's a preparation to it, even though they are bringing two strangers together. Okay. What do you want to say?
We're talking as though there aren't a group of people who feel pressurized to marry. Yes. When will I see my grandchild? When do you understand? There are a section of people that feel pressurized to marry, either to meet the standards of their parents to get them off their back, or the standards of society, because, well, I'm at this age, I should be married now, I should be having kids. The point that I was trying to make with a man's right to marry is that it is something that he solely needs to do, a choice that he needs to make at the time that he feels he is ready to marry, at a time that he feels he has the capacity to take care of a family. All right. In Nigerian society, let's not talk like people are not put under pressure to marry.
Can I
Yeah.
say?
Wait. They are put under pressure. Wait.
Go for the real question should be, what will make somebody a man then to say he's not ready to get married? Explain that.
Well, many things, because we have situations where men marry, but you can see they are lily-livered men, that they don't have the capacity to run their homes, that their mothers can come in and dictate what happens inside their marital homes. That speaks to the character of that man as to whether he is ready to actually be a man. If he cannot speak to his mother, if he cannot cut the apron strings of his mother, do you understand, and say and dictate what goes in his home. Let's not act like there aren't a lot of mother-in-laws in Nigeria that
is true, but
that are not
Sister
dragons.
Buki, are you speaking about now or then?
Some societies,
Sister Buki, are you speaking about now or then?
I am speaking about now, largely, because we're talking about
Yeah, now it's
marriage.
different. Yeah, I agree. If you're saying now, I agree with you.
About arranged marriages, whether it's relevant today.
No. Now it's different. I get it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to let you
about now. No arguments. Yeah.
I won't argue now. I thought you were talking about then.
No, because that's one of the issues that
Hey, Binta, how are you, love?
Why arranged marriages is not working today. Hi, Binta.
Before I continue again,
hello, my family. How is everybody? Oh, look at my Kelly.
Yeah, welcome, ma'am. So I think it's your turn now, because if I is struggling with his internet, so I think
I think there's still some societies who feel, some societies and some remote places that feel.
You're multicultural, right? You're multicultural, right? You're from different cultures, right?
Nigeria, Jamaica, Egypt.
So you're in a good position to educate us. So
that's why Kelly likes me so much. Kelly, I don't want to spoil market for you. Anyway, there are so many other societies in remote places that feel like the only way that I could make my son a man is to give him a wife and make him responsible. So there are certain places that still believe in giving, but the aspect of choosing, like the Indian society, they do arranged marriages. And when you look at the ratio of success back then to now, I mean, it used to work perfectly well because they vet the families that they are taking a woman from for their son. They vet it so well. And even in our culture, many, many, many years ago, they used to do the same thing. If you bring a woman and say you're ready to marry, they want to check her background. They want to make sure there's no madness that runs through the family, especially sickle cell. And if anybody comes up and says that this family has a trait of this or a trace of that or whatever, they encourage the son not to marry into it. You know what I mean? But I know for a fact that even in remote Turkish societies, in remote Arabic societies, they still do that. They believe that a man is not a man until you give him a wife. So those things still do exist, but in remote places. And in our modern society today, and those who live modern lives, that's not going to work. I don't think so. So we can't hear you.
All right. So, okay. Okay. So I was trying to explain something before you arrived. Uh, Now, the thing here is, and again, I'm talking about how it was before modern lifestyle scattered everything. So back then, there was a process to it. You didn't just bring, even though you brought strangers in, there was training. Now, even after they get married, when these two strangers get married, there was always a follow up, and the family and the community protected the marriage in such that when there's that first fight between couple, you find the parents always intervening, or in situations where the parents were already deceased, you had relatives like uncles. They'll come and give their wise counsel to resolving these issues. Again, remember that the issues, societal issues they were dealing with, is not what they were
They
dealing
are
with. There was no feminism, and there was nothing like women trying to reach the top, or it was different in the sense that most women, and this is Africa, I'm not talking about America, where there was actually a history of slavery. In Africa, most women actually worked for their husbands, so they understood one boss. The one boss owned the farm. The one boss owned where they were hunting. The one boss was the one who brought in the farm produce so she could go sell in the market. So she understood that, okay, this husband is doubling as my head of family and my commercial boss, right? But today the situation is no more like that. So a man can go and be working for someone, the wife is working for someone else, and they are bringing in different income. And the system is different now. It's not like before. And now I see that these Walt Disney kind of marriages are really not doing fine as it was expected, because remember, people decided and said, okay, let us see if we can. Oh, sorry, let me mute it. So people said, let us see if we can marry who we like and bring them into the family. It's easy to separate or divorce when you bring somebody, a stranger, to the family that the family did not partake in the vetting process. And this is why the training today and the message in social media and everywhere is for children to disregard their family and disregard their parents. I see their parents as outdated people who no longer fit the role to advise the children. So when parents are talking, they say things like, "Oh, it was your time, it's outdated," blah 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 blah, thereby invalidating whatever words of wisdom they are trying to impart into the child. Now we are seeing it now everywhere. My child, be a doctor or do a STEM course so that you can have better opportunities at life. Hey, you can't tell me I want to do under ocean weave basketing as a basket making as a course, or I want to do wire twisting as a university course and all that. And you just go and say that's my passion. You argue, you go do these courses that technically they're economically senseless, but you just do it for the sake of doing it. So it's the same thing that happens in marriage. When you and a stranger quarrel, remember that when you bring in the stranger, the person remains a stranger to the family. They don't know you. They don't know where you're coming from. They don't know your background. So when there's a fight, modern families will rather tell you that we were here minding our business when you brought this one. No. Go and sort yourself out. You know where you brought him from, or you know where you brought her from. But rich people that have generational wealth to protect, rich people with legacy, noble families, they don't play Walt Disney love at all. They don't joke with their legacy. When they have a child and the child is becoming to behave like a commoner, they call the person straight to order, or they cut the person off immediately. You don't see billionaires' children, at least the serious-minded ones, saying, "Oh, I'm in love, I want to be." No, they don't do that. Everything has been settled from the time they were born because they know what is at stake, they know what is involved, and that's why they, even at that level, they have a higher success rate. Now, you might argue that there might be serious pressures in keeping the marriage. It is true. There are always pressures in things in life to maintain order. I don't even want to argue it. It is true. But what we are looking for as an outcome in society, and me, you know me, everybody knows me, I'm for the black society. Anything that will make the black society triumph or come out victorious, I am 100% for it. And part of it is that we are to try anyway to get black men and black women together, to see eye to eye, to get married, to have healthy relationship or healthy marriages, so that we have children coming under these stable backgrounds, and we reduce this anyway. I'll allow Kelly to read the statistics about what the consequences of our modern actions. So that's why I support arranged marriages, because I feel it's safer. And I also don't believe in this love marriage and thing. I believe
Uh-uh.
marriage. No, I don't hide it now. I believe marriage is first and foremost duty. Secondly, respect, and thirdly, loyalty. These three things are what matters the most. Love
So,
does not stop people from breaking.
Excuse me. Love is
so love doesn't
is
matter.
an
You don't have
essential
to even
ingredient.
like the
Love
person a little bit.
love is as important as all of those things.
These three, if
Otherwise, you just have a machine. You
no, no,
just
no,
have a machine that you're working on.
it's not just a machine. I'll give you a very,
Well, it
very.
is. If it's just about duty first, it's a
Let me
machine.
give you a
Look what
relatable.
happens to Charles and Diana. Duty,
Okay, I'm coming. Let me give you a
duty.
relatable. I'll give you a relatable instance. It's a very common one. We all know Big Brother, right? A lot. I don't watch it, but in the
Are you
beginning,
even trusting anything that comes out of Big Brother and calling it a marriage?
it's not. No, it's not
I
the
beg,
marriage.
this is this.
They don't get married. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about bonding. Now, social scientists have noticed that if you put two people in the same environment long enough, right? They are eating in the same space, sleeping in the same space, existing and coexisting in the same environment. Over time, they form a bond. And this is not even man and woman. I'm just talking about ordinary people, like
Mm-hmm.
Coexisting.
Yeah.
coexisting with the house people. I'm not talking about tenants or flatmates. I'm talking about just friends that have a communal uh, a communal reason,
Relationship. Mm,
relationship to be
mm.
together. If you leave them 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, they are going to form a bond, right? They are going to form a bond, and you don't know them, you think they've been existing like that for years, but the reality is that they were just friends because they met there. Now, why I brought Big Brother is that you see when the show is on and they have to evict somebody, some of them start crying. Some people think it's fake cries or fake emotion, that they're just doing it for the show and all that. I can tell you for free, it's not. It's not. They've been in that enclosed environment for so long that they formed a bond. Now, let's bring it into marriage. You are living with somebody. The person you swore to give your life as a man to protect that woman and the children. You know at the back of your mind that if anything comes around, your duty is to first and foremost defend your wife and your children. You understand it. That same woman gives birth to children for you, for both of you in the family. You see the product, the child that is coming out from this woman. Somehow along the line, there's something bonding between two of you over time, and you find that you really can't function without each other. Now, this is different from you developing Walt Disney feelings before you get into marriage. And so, oh, I feel if I've fallen in love, I feel I can't live without her, then you carry the feelings inside. The slightest provocation, nobody's going to.
I don't agree with you with your discrediting love and romantic feelings from marriage. I can't agree with that.
I
I can't
rather,
agree with that. Yeah.
Or he's saying he would rather.
I rather,
Mm.
right? That love is tested inside marriage than is tested from. You're not coming. I rather you don't bring the baggage in. I rather that it's tested while you're together. It works better that way than for you to say, I'm falling in love. I feel, I feel, I feel. I know many people, you see them every day that, oh, we broke up, irreconcilable, we don't feel it again. The
Yeah,
spark is.
but brother Ron, there is a difference between, you see, the thing is, there is a reason why we have chemistry. Yes, chemistry is a thing. God has inbuilt it in human beings, that when you are with a certain kind of person, a right person for you, there are things that happens in your body involuntarily. We can't discount that. I understand what you are saying, that duty is a necessary aspect of marriage. It's one of the
Respect.
columns
Respect.
on which marriage should stand. Yes, but what arranged marriages and culture and all of that does is, if you take love out of the equation and it all becomes about duty in the first instance, you will have two people, yes, that form a bond, but it will just be a more just
Sister,
uh uh
how did you miss it?
there's
Okay, how did you miss it? How
I
did you miss
how I
listen,
didn't miss it. All I'm
listen,
all all
listen to what I said
I'm
now.
I'm
No,
advocating for love being an essential ingredient in a marriage, not just duty, not just respect,
You know what,
not just.
Sister Buki?
Sister Buki,
Sister
this three
Buki,
method is called love.
Sister Buki, duty. Sister Buki, I don't know what Mr. Ron is saying. Duty in itself, duty not enforced by the use of force that is done willfully, is actually an act of love in itself.
It's out of
I
love.
don't know how we're
Exactly.
defining love. Okay,
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
love in itself.
but he's
Okay, go
taken
on.
away the romantic aspect of it. I guess all
Aspect.
I'm saying is that is also included in it. Yes.
Are you trying to say that people who were married in prearranged marriages then, even after getting married, that there was no romance at all?
Well, the way
No.
you're describing it, it sounds very like cold and clinical,
No,
and you
I'm
know.
trying. I'm trying to separate. I'm trying to, I'm trying. I want us to go in the dark so that we'll learn what we think we know now, and go back to basic. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to separate what's going on now from reality. The reality is that if you are with somebody long enough, right? All these things you are defining. You see when this duty, respect, and loyalty comes in,
Brother
and you
Ron, the,
come in
the
and
length of time you spend with somebody is not an automatic guarantee that you bond with that person at all.
can I can I land?
Yes,
You
you
see,
may.
duty, loyalty, and respect I'm talking about, and you survive this time, and you're together all this while. You see that love that will grow from this principle, the love that will grow. It's more stable. I'm coming. I'm going somewhere with this. It's more stable than somebody that came with chemical reactions before marriage.
If it happens, Mr. Ron, you're assuming that it will happen. Yes, not every couple that is forced into an arranged marriage are happy in the marriage. They observe, they do their duty, but it's not guaranteed that they're going to grow in love. I don't know where you get that idea from. It doesn't equal. A marriage can last without love. Yes, because they understand their duty or not.
So
Mr.
which one do you think will last longer? Oh, I'm sorry. Which one do you think has a higher success rate? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, but I don't think that because one has a higher success rate, that one is better for the human condition.
Mr. Kelly,
Okay. Let me allow Sister Bukola to talk. Maybe
Mr.
maybe I'm
Kelly,
telling you.
your show, I think Sister Vicky was there
Mm.
about six. I think I nearly joined you guys then. About 2 months ago, a lady came on, if you remember, and she said our marriage, they don't use anything love. There is nothing like love. They don't love, blah, blah, blah. But in the process of she explaining that they don't love, they don't use the word love, she, she was still defining love. They respect each other, they protect each other's values. The emotion is there, the connection is there. They are like friends in the house. She respects her husband, she values her husband. They work well as a family. She was still defining what love is, not just the emotions, right? We have some marriages, maybe in Mr. Ron's house now, the way he's talking right now. Maybe that's what you're defining. We don't do love, 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 because a lot of people think love is, oh, I love you emotions. Go on getaway, vacation, and all of those things. No, love is beyond all of those things, all of those emotions. Every definition.
Of course, it's beyond all of those emotions, but in some marriages, it works for them as well.
Exactly. And like that woman said, she's enjoying everything in our marriage. You know your duty, I know my duty. A well-cultured marriage. But then they don't use the word love. Some people are surviving with that, right? And that's okay. And that's maybe that's what Mr. Ron is saying right now.
Let me even say what Sister Bukola said. As a married man, sometimes me and my wife can have this heated argument. We just angry, everybody walk away. Guess what? The moment we stay away from each other 3 days, it doesn't matter what cost. Maybe I travel for business or I'm not around. We must call each other and find out, how are you? What are you doing? You didn't call me. Those things are very important. I don't know how to explain these things.
So let me ask you, Mr. Ron, are you talking from experience that you married somebody that you didn't love, but you guys grew together as a unit?
I loved.
Okay.
You understand?
And still love. And still
to me, you might not be using the word love, but one thing I see from all your definition is there is a chemistry. There is a chemistry, and there is also a character that is backing up that chemistry. So not just I love you, all the character, all the ingredient that is needed. There is a connection between the chemistry and the character. Maybe that's what you're trying to say. But you might not be using the word love, but there is still love.
Okay, wait. Let's settle this thing once and for all. Sister Buki, read the Bible passage telling husband and wife what to do. Let's listen. Let's learn. That's your favorite passage. Read it for us.
It's not my favorite passage. Who told you it was my favorite passage? It's not my favorite passage. Brother Ron.
Read that passage.
Brother Ron. I will argue till the cows come home. Marriage is something that is personal to the two people that are in it. And the fact that two people can respect each other and do the duty doesn't necessarily mean, because we need to consider all different kinds of marriages that encapsulate the concept of marriage. For some people, it's enough for duty. Yes, they don't even have to really like each other. They just get on with married life. Yes, for some people, chemistry and romance plays a part in the success of their marriage. For some people, it's a balance of the two. All right, but to prescribe one type of marriage as being what is a successful marriage is what I am asking you to qualify. So some people might not use the word love, some people might use the word love overly, but it doesn't determine, yes, because what determines a marriage for two people is that God is part of that marriage, and is that they have an understanding of what marriage is supposed to be, and that they like each other, and that they are friends. Yes. So, but there are marriages that have no sex, no love, but they are functioning as marriages. They've stayed with each other 20 years, 30 years. They're still there. Do you understand?
Internet people, did I say no? did I say anything about no? This is a book you wants to put me inside gutter. And that's why I said
I'm not trying to put you inside gutter. You didn't mention anything of you are discounting feelings. That's what I'm fighting.
Kelly's
feelings are important.
I didn't say that too. So okay, But you see that because of this debate now, you have chosen not to read your favorite passage, Abby. Okay, no wahala, God this now.
It's not my favorite passage, Brother Ron. You're looking for my trouble. I
Yeah,
never
okay.
said that.
You're avoiding that passage because you know where it to carry us to. No wahala.
Where will it carry us?
Read it
Well,
first.
you read it now, because me, I don't know which passage you're talking about. You read it. Tell us.
Oh,
Because
Bookie,
man and woman.
Did Jacob love his, what was the woman's name? Rachel, or what was his favorite?
I think he wanted to
Yeah, but
marry.
that's actually a very good example of what a man will do for a woman he loves, as
Uh-huh.
opposed to a woman that he is duty bound to. There are two different things.
Or
Thank you, B.
they switched the wife, or deceived him, or whatever. The one he loved and was longing for, and had
Thank
to work
you.
another how many years
He
just
was
to get
willing.
the woman that he loved, you know.
Thank you. And that's what love can
And
galvanize
I
somebody
think
to
they said,
do.
he who
You
finds
need to
a wife finds a good
clean
thing.
the
So they didn't,
clean the
it's like he has to find a wife, or the family found the wife, or whoever found the wife, or whatever. Because back then in biblical days, I know the past 100 years to 50 years, marriage has completely, or the reason for marriage or successful marriage has completely changed, or done a 360 on its head.
Mm.
And I think too many people are focused on the wedding day itself,
Yeah.
and the guests
But
and
if
the
I hold on,
clothes.
Madam Bita, hold on to that thought. I want Ifeanyi to say, Ifeanyi, are you okay now? Ifeanyi,
Can you hear me?
yes,
Can you
yes,
hear
Yeah.
yes,
me?
yes, yes.
Oh,
Hold
let's
on.
move on. Let's finish. Go down, Sazi, please.
Okay, Ifeanyi, go
Hello,
ahead.
Sharon. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I just had. I guess I'm way behind from where I have been, but I'll just continue to ask the questions. I had a bit of question to ask, although Sister Buki brought it up. The question was, we as we're talking about arrangement, and are we equating it to where we're talking about people are just doing the traditional kid? Because it's the whole different ball game. And again, if we're to think about how it's a whole different ball game, it's not like mutually exclusive, but one could lead to the other. But we have to go back in time, like I consequence said, and go back to when history was being made. What was the reason for prearranged marriages? You'll find that in culture and strict all through history. There were deals that needed to be made. So people were made to marry for God, for man, and for God, for king and country, even before your personal view. Now there was the other layer, and that was for royalty. Then there was the other layer that sometimes you had to get married so that you can actually have a stake in society. So you married for lords, for land, and for a few other things. Then it goes further to say, okay, fine, even if we had to do it, you had to be part of a certain moral for you to be considered so that you can be used in those kind of arrangements. Sister Buki mentioned it and said it came with duty. It came with duty. It didn't come with feelings. It came with, hey, this is something you dare to do. Sometimes kingdoms were united by just arranging those marriages. It will be a facade to think that those things have gone. They did not go. But it existed in the same way with marriages that we chose for ourselves. The only difference was that this was for the elite and the high society. For the rest of us, if you find a good person, you're of the same class, you get married. But however, it did not change. It hasn't changed. So there's still families that you can't marry into, and they'll tell you plain, you can't marry into it. It doesn't matter if you went to Harvard. It doesn't matter whatever it is, and it all boils down to what was the culture, what is the acceptable norm. That being said, that's why I asked the question: are we talking about our traditional matchmaking and calling it prearranged marriage? Because for me, they're two different things. But even if we say, okay, we adopt the name prearranged marriage, that still says that you still see that the underlying thing behind it is still legacy. So families will want to be sure who's coming into their family so that they can continue their family with him and their morals in a certain way and their values in a certain way. So, however, when you look at it that way, you realize that the reason for it is, like I said, for God, for king, for country. you will do your duty before you think about love. Now, it doesn't mean there is no concurrent intersections where love comes in and it makes the whole deal sweeter. Yes, there's a lot of marriages that are like that. But then there are marriages that prearranged actually has to do with what was the reason? The family needs to maintain a legacy, it might be riches, and we will make it in such a way that just marrying you cements it. Again, like we would say, sometimes it looks as if women got the short end of the stick. And here's the reason why. They're the only citizens in this world who can adequately be from two places. In other words, if they can be born here, be from here, and marry somewhere else. So it gave them the unique ability to actually bring peace to places in which they went to. So they were actually the victims of most of those arranged marriages. However, that for that unique quality means they were also very powerful. Because as a king, I cannot come and I can't attack my daughter's husband, who is the king somewhere else. So those were bases for which those arrangements were. But they filtered down into society. And because in every society, we want to belong to the elite. So most people started copying it and say, okay, fine, family to family. I need to have a good family so that we can build a bigger legacy. And that way, we start to become elite or special if we're not royal. That being said, make no mistake. Yes, 11
Hello, you're breaking up. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, he's breaking up. Okay, who wants to take over from him? Mr. Kelly, you've been quiet.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so Wumi, do you want to take it? Wumi, are you there? I think she's frozen too. Okay, Bukola, are you ready? Wumi, are you ready?
I think she's back. Wumi is back.
Okay, okay, so Wumi, let's hear from
It's
you.
my network. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my network.
Talk now
I'm
that
here.
it talk now that is what.
I'm here.
Yeah, you can
Well,
contribute.
yeah, from my own point of view, I believe the coming together of two people can be based on different peculiarities. It depends on how the definition they want to give they are coming together. But if we have to go by what the society expects a marriage to be and what individuals choose their marriages to be, they are two different things. And then we have the scriptural standard. When I mean scriptural now, I'm not talking about the Bible alone. I'm talking about scriptures from different religions. They all have different interpretations. The New Testament in the Bible supports does not support multiple partners. It's just one man, one wife, and all that. But in other religions, they support one man, several wives. I think I heard from some people that in some scriptural quotations from other, maybe the Hindus or something like that, they support a woman having more than one husband. So what I'm trying to say is we have different basis of defining a marriage. But I think I will dwell on, I won't want to dwell on the spiritual or the scriptural aspects. I want to dwell on what I personally would feel is the right definition or the right basis for two people coming together. Personally, even if it is just mere dating or just mere being friends with someone, if I am not emotionally, mentally, and physically connected with someone, I can't date the person. That is me. You can't tell me I'm going to spend the rest of my life with somebody and my emotions will not be involved. I need to know that I truly love this person, and I wish I am making the choice to spend the rest of my life with this person, despite the person's flaws and weaknesses. I am ready to live with that. I know I can cope with it. Physically, there must be attraction. Mentally, we must at least be on the same level of mental capacity. We must be able to understand each other. We must see things. We must have like minds. So all these aspects, they are what makes it for me. The union of two people, it takes a whole lot more than what the society might be painting it, what different cultures and religions might be painting it. It is more of that individual connection. That chemistry has to be there. So there's no way you will remove romance, emotions, your love. There's no way you can remove it from marriage. Personally, like I said, I'm going to be using my own personal instance. If I am dating someone, okay, I meet the person, I like him. We tend to connect in so many ways, emotionally and all that. The emotions are there, but I still need to balance it. That okay, I have known this person's flaws. I have my flaws too. If he is also able to cope with my flaws, if I am able to cope with his, that means we can go ahead. That means we both are ready to put enough work into it to make it work. And marriage takes work. Marriage requires work for it to work, for it to be successful. So in the process of working to make sure marriage is successful, there is no way you won't put in your emotions. There's no way you won't put in romance. There's no way you won't put in your physical, mental connection. If you are not ready to sacrifice your comfort and happiness to some extent for the comfort and happiness of your proposed partner, it's not going to work, because that is what marriage is all about. It is about making sacrifices. Marriage requires selflessness. You have to be selfless. If you're not ready to give up your comfort for the comfort of your partner, if your partner is not ready to give up his comfort for your own comfort, it is not going to. That is why we have so many failed marriages. I cannot give up my rights. I cannot give up what is rightfully mine, my space for you. Then it will not work. So that is my own view. And then if we have to bring in, as matured people that intend to go into marriage, you have to balance all these things. You have to balance it with what the society expects from you, what religion expects from you. But at the same time, bear in mind that this decision is strictly for the both of you. When you are having your good times, the society will see it. They will say, these people are doing fine. But when you are having your rough times, they
You're on
may
your
not
own.
say that. You're on your own. You deal with your shit yourself. So if you cannot manage your life privately, or you always want, that's the problem with this generation, is they all want to do it for the gram. They want to do it, they want to paint a picture that everybody would see and believe things are going on well. I'm going to make reference to this thing that happened. I think yesterday or 2 days ago. There's a lady on TVC. She's a presenter on TVC. She's married, like 11 years in marriage. She has 3 kids. But she came online, she came on air to advise women to have an exit plan in marriage.
Wow.
Yes, it's all over the internet. She's a Yoruba lady. She said women should have an exit plan in marriage. Then I now sat down. I looked at it. I said, why would you're an influencer. People look up to you. They listen to your program. You interview people. You are like a role model to so many people out there, because they want to listen to, because they believe you have things to say. that they want to learn from. So how will you come?
What's the name of this person? I'm sorry. What's the name of this person?
I'll try and remember her name. She's a Yoruba lady. She's a presenter in the morning shows, live morning shows on TVC television.
One that popular lady on TVC like this.
Yeah, she's a Yoruba lady.
And I think she's single. You know that. Yeah,
She's not single, no. She's not
married.
single. She's married. She's 11 years married with 3 kids.
Because she dropped,
maybe she's the one marrying the man.
Recently, I think something is. I think there is.
So how can she come online and tell women to have
if you are my wife,
marriage and have an exit plan already?
If you are my wife and you're already saying exit plan, I'm thinking that yes, there's something that
exactly. Yeah, it's like having a prenup.
If you are married to me as my wife, this is what I keep saying to people. You gotta understand that something is going on in the world right now, where women are the one marrying men. Men are not having it easy. Let's get something clear. Men are not currently having it easy right now. The odds is stacked against men mentally. I said I wrote something. I said men are becoming simp. I posted it yesterday. Like men are becoming simps, and there is consequence for it. Even with your money, you might still be the simp in the marriage. So if I'm married to you as a woman, and you go out there, if you are married to me, okay, and you go out there to make statements such as have exit plan, no problem. Because right now, from that moment that you make that statement, I'm starting to suspect you that you're planning something already.
Exactly. Call for doubting you.
And 1 foot out.
And this lady, from what people are saying, her marriage is fine, is going fine, according to what people are saying.
I'm not sure her marriage is going fine.
That's what I said. I told people, I said something is wrong with her.
It doesn't make sense.
She's from a place of bitterness. That means something is wrong with her marriage.
They lie. They all lie.
Okay, so can we bring in Oga James now? Can you speak? Let's see whether your mic. Oga James, can you hear?
Hello, Ron. Am I loud and clear?
Yes, it's better.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. So, hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome.
Okay, so let me start by saying that I'm a product of a guided marriage. I won't the word arranged. I married from within a cycle that dates back to my grandparents. And in my kind of marriage, there is certainly no exit plan because shame no go allowed to often disgrace the families. And like I said in my first chat here, I'm all in for arranged or guided marriages. And the full reason is because the maturity that is now lacking in young people. I think we as parents have failed to pass on the kind of training and responsibility given to us. So, and we're helicopter parents over our children constantly, to the extent that they are not able to take decisions on their own. The kind of decisions that married couples have to take when they are together alone. So you find both the man and woman being unsure of themselves, having guidance, even in their marriage. I think that maturity has made it all the more important that the children are guided into marriage. Backgrounds matter, and I think one of the speakers said earlier on that the difference between what is going on now and what happened during our grandparents is that a lot of background checks went into the planning. These days, people just meet in the barracks. They meet in the barracks, and what you see is not what you get.
Black market.
Each spouse is arranging and packaging. Yeah. Exactly. There's a saying in Hausa that hautana ake sauka. That is, from where you climb, that is where you come down. So in arranged marriages, it's easy to go back to the beginning and untangle it.
Okay, James,
that's my position. Actually, it may not always work, but I think for sorry.
Okay, James, is there a fan in your room? A fan. Hello,
sorry?
Okay, James. Is there a fan in your room? A fan.
Okay, yeah. Okay, do I need to?
Yeah, I think you need to.
Okay, let me speak. Yes, there is. I'll just turn it off.
Okay, better. Okay,
I've just turned it off.
Yes, sir. You can round up now.
So am I clearer now?
Yes, sir. Still a little, but you can manage.
Okay. So let me go back to what I said. Okay. So I think that in arranged marriages, if things get tangled, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir. We really appreciate your contribution. While you were talking, I noticed that Peter was just. Peter, you wanted to say something?
You're welcome.
Oh, okay. Peter, you wanted to say something? Hello, Binta.
No. I was just thinking how people are just so caught up with fantasy, the fantasy of marriage, and what their expectations out of that fantasy is, and not the reality of every day what you'll be dealing with. Because I've heard a lot of men say, I just want somebody to love me for me. I just want somebody to respect me. It's about what they want. And then you have the ladies who, they just want to be Mrs. somebody. They just, want to bear to have a last name, as opposed to finding out, like Erika said, number one, you have to like the person, to have an element of love for the person, to coexist or live with the person. To walk blindly into something. I know coexisting, you grow on each other, and you may have some type of love because you've been put into a place where, or into an arrangement where families have fixed that up for you, and as time goes on, that's the only person so there's going to be an element of affection there. But to say, in today's world, with what is pulling everybody in different directions, marriage has lost the essence of what it used to be. Completely gone. I'm not saying it doesn't exist or it can't happen. It can. But the way society is today, and the fast track that is on, there's a whole I would be afraid of arranged marriages or anything without really knowing the person, especially in today's world. Do you know who you're really marrying, or what you're marrying? Quickly gone. I'm not. Sorry.
No, just continue. I think it was feedback.
Oh. So I mean, it's so many things running through my brain, because what it used to be, and the way people were back then, and the values and the respect level that used to be, is not what we have today. I'm not saying it's completely eradicated, no, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack today.
Mm. Oh, thanks a lot for your second submission. And if you're watching right now, please, uh, it is free. Please subscribe. In fact, I prefer the subscription on YouTube. Like, you can like from anywhere. You can like from YouTube. You can like from Facebook. Anywhere you're watching from, you can like. But I would really appreciate it if you can actually subscribe. Now, I think it's time for us to read the comments. And who else other than Sister Buki? She's the yes, now you're a student now. Are you not?
Which
Okay. S- Okay, Sister Buki, UK Buki, not Canada Buki. The next one will be Canada Buki because both of them are students. So let's start from the UK Buki.
What did you want me to do?
Read read the comments.
I can't see the comments. Where?
Yeah.
It's under the screen. Can't you see it? Hold on.
Hi, Mr. Ron.
That's from Cheryl. Just call the post.
Okay. Cheryl says, hi, Mr. Ron. Hi, Mr. Kelly.
Hmm.
Simon says, Mr. Shale, smiley faces.
Blessing.
Blessing says, yes, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Sam says, present boss.
Hey, Mr. Aaron, read what you want to read to us. Let's get going, man.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Mr.
There's something you guys should
Mr. Kelly, how dare you?
Yes.
wait,
Sir.
wait. There's something you guys should learn from this comment section. If I told you that all these people commenting are my in-laws, will you believe it?
Is it?
Yeah, all my wife's siblings. Like, we are going to support you to the edge of the earth. Like this.
That's
Oh,
sweet.
Yeah,
nice.
So
in-laws. So you see the importance of doing things the right way. You see, when I was saying it, I sounded old school, but you see what I'm benefiting. I'm benefiting wife and I'm benefiting more family. You see?
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So the
James,
okay.
It's not that we're
James
not for
Bagudu
those.
says, I'm all for arranged marriages or guided marriages if you like.
Okay.
Felix says, good afternoon, everyone. Kayode says, arranged marriage works because of the priority of the group over the individual. I agree with Buki. Thank you, Kayode. He also says the evolution of civilization has introduced lots of good things like technology and better quality of life, but it has also introduced the priority of the happiness of the individual over the group.
Looking good, Bookie.
Sandra says, hello, family. Sandra says, I'm
in the Indian community. It's
oh,
a
right.
full-time
Yeah, somebody else take over now.
Okay. So, Binta, do you want to continue? Okay, let's go back
There's
to.
no absolute in prearranged marriages and individual
Absolute what?
Ah.
Man of violence. Paul Canning.
Absolute what?
There's no absolute.
Well,
yeah, arranged marriages doesn't guarantee a perfect marriage, Mr. Kelly.
In my opinion. So, Paul,
We had success rates that we may never experience again till
yes,
thy kingdom come.
perhaps on paper, Kelly, but personally, you can't speak to people's individual personal happiness. They observe their duty.
How do you go against what we have on paper to start with?
Yeah, because what we have on paper is not indicative of a personal level of happiness. It's a statistic that shows that marriage lasted a certain number of years. There are people that are in marriages for very long periods of time, but they are not happy. Yes.
Way back,
And
you're not
length,
getting my question. Your claim, you're assuming that.
as are you.
No, I am going by what we have, which is the rate of co-parenting versus the rate of successful marriage way back then per paper. That is what I'm going by. But you are saying that because it is successful on paper, don't necessarily mean it is successful.
Yeah, but
in
remember, we're
person.
talking about
Possibility are
arranged.
there, but the burden of proof is on you, not on me.
Hold on. Well, then let me give you a bit more clarity then. We are talking about arranged marriages, yes, which primarily people entered into because of duty and not because of personal preference. So whilst you might be
Primarily
able to
people enter
demonstrate,
because of duty.
what have we been discussing this whole evening? Back in the day, we've all agreed that back in the day, arranged marriages worked because there was an understanding of duty, yes, and family and community and culture over personal preferences. We've all
What is
agreed
personal
on that.
preferences to you? Explain personal preferences.
Well, choosing the person that you want to be married to, choosing that person not just because of what your family needs or what your society requires of you, but because, that's your personal choice. You are attracted to that person, do you understand? So, marriage, arranged. So because you have a statistic that shows that arranged marriages worked more at that time, you cannot necessarily say that the personal happiness level of those marriages were a success. It was just a success because people understood what their duty in an arranged marriage was.
But the burden of proof is still on you. Then hold on, let's discuss something. You said lack of what are we marrying for today? I mean, Sister Buki, why do people marry? Or why should people marry? Do you think it's personal choice? Okay. What is then their personal choice? Your look alone? It's duty.
No, people.
It's sustainability.
So what
okay, it's duty. It's sustainability.
No, Kelly.
It's legacy. It's duty, sustainability, legacy. In fact, all this thing about legacy simply mean, okay, the sustainability of your duty to create productivity in a long time that you can pass down to your offspring. That is what legacy is.
Right.
Well,
right. So what I'm saying then is, you are saying, I think, which is simply saying, you're saying they didn't let you pick who you want. Okay, if you pick who you want, what other than the look?
No, Kelly. What I'm very clear in what I was responding to that you said. You were saying, or what I understood you to say was that arranged marriages, yes, had a better success rate, which we all agree they had a better success rate because on paper they were better. What I was challenging was the fact that you had those figures, yes, does not necessarily reflect the happiness of the individuals within the marriage. It worked because it was an accepted duty. People went into it for different reasons then, and it wasn't as per their choice. Or we can argue that perhaps the man had a choice, but in 9 out of 10 cases, the woman didn't have a choice. She just had to go with it. The man had to agree, okay, with his parents, all right, I like the choice that you've made for me. But women didn't have that.
What is this choice, Gongo? Away from look, give me what other thing you'll get from the choice.
There is a growth for me. There is a growth that I have experienced as a person in choosing who I want to be with. Yes,
other than look,
what about Mr. Kelly? What about connections apart from the look?
Where do you think that connection come from?
I didn't go for
what is connection?
Lots of different
what is connection away from look?
Intellectual connection, emotional connection, practical connection, things that you have in common, Kelly. Why are you just making it about look?
Who am I dialoguing with first? Come to the front of the table.
I'm taking you on, bros. Yes.
All right, then go on. So my question to you, Sister Buki, is away from look, like keep look apart. It is important for us to know that way back then.
Question.
Hold on. Where?
Question. Just go to the question.
No, you want me to not lay the background. Okay, I'll go to the question. Hold on. I'll go to the question, no problem. I'm asking you that. You said personal preference, and I said, okay, remove look. What else?
Okay.
What else make up this? What is the problem?
Personal preference. Okay. So we have intellectual preference. We have emotional preference. We have a spiritual preference. We have a physical preference in terms of, you know, what you like to do.
Preference is look. Rewind.
No, physical preference is things that you also like to do together, things that you have in common.
Preference is look. What thing?
What
what you like to do together? That is duty.
In your arena, perhaps.
Activity, duty. That is what you like to do together. Activities, duty.
Well, that actually matters a lot.
Well, that comes from
common with the person that you are with.
Activity and duties are some of the things that our parents factor into this arranged marriage.
Those options in an arranged marriage, sir. You don't. You get to deal with what you are given.
These emotions. Do you know that people build emotion over time?
Yes, that can happen.
Exactly what I'm saying. Do you know where? Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that emotions that have sustained the most usually come from the healthiness of the duty to each other over a long period of time?
And why do you
duty
think
does not have to mean
from the get-go? Why do you assume that cannot be from the get-go?
Well, because I've seen more success. Okay, because I've seen more success. Okay, that is derived. Okay, from healthy duty over a long period of time versus hey, how I feel right now, and then boom, it goes off from there.
I think what I'm saying is, you have a bias, Kelly, clear bias. Yes.
Okay, what's my bias?
Supposed to hear of this.
Move to the front table. Who is this?
Mr. Kelly, you have a bias because when you presented your question with regards to the, you know, this generation, you just presented it on looks. That's a bias.
Because Jesus is Lord.
No.
Well, you said aside from looks, as though there's nothing else that makes up a person's choice regarding another person other than their looks. There's a whole lot more than just how a person looks.
Hold on.
Okay.
My take is this. Me like this. This is what I was saying. That when you made the submission that because it is successful on paper, don't necessarily mean it is successful in real life. All right? And your reason is, hold on. And your reason is because one of them or both of them are the right to make that decision for themselves were taken away from them.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
That is preference.
That's not what I said. What I said, the fact that statistically speaking, you have a higher number of marriages that lasted in the past does not necessarily speak to the happiness level within that marriage. That's what I said.
In the past. Meaning in the past.
Yes.
Hey,
okay, hold on. And I'm asking you that the burden of proof to show that they were not happy is now on you. How do you make a case?
Well,
how can you make a case for that burden of proof?
The case that I can make for that burden of proof is the fact that choice has been taken away from them.
You are assuming that they were not happy because you were assuming. You see the problem with that, is it? Hold on.
Yeah, but you're also assuming that they are happy.
I'm not assuming. My case is made already. My case is made on the basis of statistic, on the basis of presence of two parents raising their child. Hold on.
Emotional quality, does it now?
Hold on. Sitabuki. Prior to the 1960s, successful marriages, 87%. Okay? Both parents raising, being the life of their children, co-parenting, 87%. All right? That in itself is success. Because they work together, they also raise their children together.
Yes.
Now that makes my case already. I'm vindicated. On paper, And with little example. Now, if you are thinking that they are not happy,
hold on a minute,
if
Kelly.
you are thinking that they are not happy, show me why you think they are not happy.
If it was such a success, yes, according to what you are saying, why were so many women ready to take the bulls by the horns and leave their marriages when they had the opportunity to do so?
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay.
Which then brought up the
I'll give you answer. I'll give you a good answer. No problem. I'll give you answer. All right. Why were they? I'll tell you very, very well. Sometimes they say we don't value what we have until we lose it.
I beg.
Right? Good.
I beg.
We don't value what we have until we lose it. That is one. Secondly, we see it today, even with adults in 2022, with all of the information available to us, that people can still be engineered. Remember that these people were not just walking away. Okay, someone came to present something that was so flashy to them, and they were brainwashed. It wasn't like they stood up and said, "I'm leaving." Hold on, let me land. I'll pass it back to you. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Can I finish?
Yeah,
it wasn't as if these women were standing up and leaving. Okay, there was an engineering so powerful going on there, and we still see those engineering working today. Okay, it wasn't as if they stayed there and then they left. Because if they are leaving to go voluntarily to go look for what is not missing, all right, then we say, okay, but there was something, they were engineered. Okay, remember these people were coming from at the back of slavery and segregation. They don't understand what was behind there.
Oh, you're just talking about black people,
we have the yes, and sometimes we say, whenever I have my conversation, what we must understand, I'm black first before any other thing. I'm very, very selfish like that. Okay, I'm very selfish like that. So these people are coming on the back of slavery and segregation. Okay, and we have this saying that the grass is always greener on the other part. So it wasn't as if the grass isn't green at all on your part, but when you look on the other part, something that you haven't experienced, the grass looks greener. So now when you add that to the fact that there was a whole lot of social engineering going on, brainwashing going on, then you can understand that they were brainwashed into making certain horrible decisions. So it would have been a different thing if they just stood up and left. Decision that they regretted today, by the way. So I'll leave it at that.
I would have to say that if women were 100%, yes, happy as individuals prior to the advent of this so-called social engineering, which I agree, yes, is something that happened, but there was a basis of unhappiness within a lot of women that made them gravitate towards that social engineering a lot easier, because many of them left in their droves.
Happiness.
Yes, they left.
It doesn't have to be
Hold on,
happiness.
Brother Kelly, you said turn by turn. The fact of the matter is that had women been afforded a little bit more agency as members of society, yes, you probably wouldn't have had as much falling away as we had. Yes, they were not given any agency, sincerely. They really weren't. And had the agency been there, it wouldn't have happened to the degree that
what agency are you looking for? Look for?
Sorry? You see, the mentality is the problem. Anyway, I'm taking my children to the cinema. Goodbye, all. We're going to see Wakanda. So I will love you and leave you. Thank you for having me, Mr. Ron. I'll catch up with you guys soon.
We're almost done. What time is your show?
Well, by the time we get there, it's for 5 o'clock. So I need to get ready, and I need to close for Sabbath as well. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
all right, take care, guys. Bye.
So, Kelly,
bye.
Bye, Sister Booker. Mr. Kelly, Sister Bookie, I know her, I've listened to her talk about marriage, and I know her stand when it comes to couples raising their kids together, being in a successful marriage. And I totally still understand what she's trying to say right now about you being happy in a marriage. I've been trying to hold this, but I think I'm gonna say it. I have a girl right now.
Sorry, you are holding something on this show?
No, because of confidentiality. I'm still gonna be careful too. I'm still gonna say it, but
Oh, actually, we don't hold anything here, now.
I have
So,
a girl. I have a girl presently. I'm not gonna tell you our location. She's stranded, not just in marriage. She's stranded even in location. She cannot leave the marriage as it is right now, and even the location, she does not have the right immigration paper to decide, like, look, I'm done. And this guy is completely, when they say somebody is irresponsible, he wouldn't even come home for days. He wouldn't come home and he wants this lady to accept that, oh, I can go ahead and have numerous girls. I just need you to be at home. And this is a product of a pre-arranged marriage. If we see the same girl on the street, clamoring for equality, we won't know the genesis. We won't know the basis of where our pain is coming from. We will categorize all of them together, because all the people that I have talked about clamoring for all this change, they are people that have experienced one trauma or the other. So anytime we are dealing with this issue, we shouldn't just wrap it up and say all of them are the same. It's because they lack manners. It's because they want to be free. It's because they just want to be out there competing with men. No, some of them, they have a pre-existing condition that is conditioning their mind towards that mindset. And that was why I started with arranged marriage. I love it. It's working in Pakistan as we speak. Pakistan, they have access to social media just like most of these countries. They are wealthy people, but they do not leave their culture behind. They have 68% of the population still married.
You hear what you said, Buki? They
Yes.
do not vacate their culture. They don't leave
Yeah,
their culture.
I'm going somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, they embrace that. You understand? Now, 68, they're still successfully married, and 0.57% are divorced, which simply means these guys are still embracing their culture. They are embracing that family, that communal value, which says, oh, we have to be together. That is the only way we can build a successful community and a more
society.
And
that is what I think Kelly is trying to say, that there are lots of people who are indoctrinated by the Western world and what they see.
I don't want to forget my thought. So at the end of the day, I still support pre-arranged marriage, but to some extent, in the sense that I don't want this existing veto power. In those days, let's be sincere and let's be frank. Women, they can't say no once their families are saying yes. We see that in movies. We read it in African stories. Most times, it's just, this person is right for you, and you go for it, which is okay. I still want that arranged marriage, because it worked well for most of our ladies then, because there is a saying that women will grow to love. If a man does not love you from day one, he might not love you forever. But we women, we grow to love, which is okay, which comes as a result of the duty, your commitment as a man into the marriage, your commitment as a man into me, not just the marriage. The intentionality that we both bring to the table. Arranged marriage, I still support it, but to some extent, at least, let me have a say. Let me be able to say, you know what? Why can't we do things this way? I'm not saying you're not looking out for me. I'm not saying you're not looking out for the best for me. At least let me have a little say in that. This lady does not really have a say just because they want her to go into a marriage so that she can help the family, so that she can do this. They feel the man is best for her. So many things were hidden. Right now, she's stranded, not just in the marriage, even in location. Now we are thinking, what are we going to do so that she will be able to get our papers, so that she will be able to just leave? At the end of the day, if she's
For context, the guy kicking her out?
He's not kicking her out, but he doesn't come to the house. He comes once. They live in the same house, but he's always not in
And
the
he's not even providing for the family at all.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Is there a case of physical abuse, domestic abuse?
Sorry. Wait. Is he? I just want to. It's context. So I'm not supporting anything. No, is he beating her physically?
Yeah.
Mr. Ron, I know where you're driving to. No.
I'm going somewhere.
I know where you're driving.
No, I'm not going to.
It's just a question. Where this lady would accept that he can deal with multiple women and not come home. He can come anytime he likes.
I'm going somewhere. I don't support that. I don't do that.
That's emotional abuse.
I don't do it. So I don't support it. Secondly, he's not hitting her and he's providing. Now, this is a pure case of neglect, right? This is a case of neglect. He has neglected his wife, his legal wife, right? Which is a good case for. I think in Islam, it's a case for divorce, right? If I'm not mistaken. Neglect is a strong case for divorce.
There is premise to it, but go on.
Yeah, but neglect is a serious marital issue. So I'm not down. I just wanted you to give context so that we know, because sometimes when we talk in general, but I want you to put it. So this is a case of neglect, and she needs to get out, right?
Yeah.
So
what I'm saying is, I still love society, right? We can raise kids who are mentally stable, kids that they will be with father for 4 days, they will be with mother for 3 days, then they will come back. Mother will have her own rules and regulations. Then when they go to their father, the father will have his own rules and regulations. Mental torture for those kids. They spend 2 days here, they spend 3 days here. I do not really want that for a society, and that's what is affecting all our children. We do a lot of work now trying to let even our kids, because they mingle with other kids who are raised by single parenting. I'm not saying single parenting is bad. We have children who are raised by single parenting and they are doing absolutes, like they are fantastic, right? But I'm just saying this thing is affecting our community, and I'm embracing arranged marriage as long as I have a say in it. That's what I'm pushing this morning. It shouldn't be, yes.
I feel like, if you don't mind, when parents want to give their daughter out in an arranged marriage, it is important for us to know that they have the best interest of their daughter at heart. Hence, the vetting. It is important for us to understand that they have the best interest of their daughter at heart. Hence, the vetting. So it is important for us to understand that they are not just giving out their daughter without a say. They are trying to make or help make the best decision for their daughter by doing the proper vetting. And can we just weigh how we vet our today that we're going to make the decision for ourselves today compared to then? Is it working well for us today that we're making the decision for ourselves? No, it's not. It's even working worse for us. Today, it's even working worse for us now that we have all the power to go make the decision. Or good. Me, I'm always of the opinion that there are so many things that we can borrow from the past and incorporate today and apply. Okay, there's a lot of things that we can borrow that are very powerful. And we have to also understand what are the procedures, because you see this story that Sitabuki is saying here. I wouldn't be surprised if it is the same lady that I have in mind. And to give you a hint, the lady I have in mind lives in Brazil. All right? The lady I have in mind lives in Brazil.
She's not in Brazil.
All right? And guess what? When I asked few questions, okay, what I noticed was the process around how they marry, okay, was even flawed from the get-go. I think, Ron, you might know.
Yes, okay, yes, I remember that night.
You remember, right? Thank you very much.
Yeah, I remember.
The process through which they married, okay, was flawed from the very get-go. It wasn't like it was arranged properly. It was flawed.
I remember.
And when it is flawed, tendency is that the man does not have respect for your family because the way it happened in the first place, it was just like they sold their daughter, which is different. No vetting, nothing. So I'm just saying to say that we must also take into consideration that parents who were arranging this marriage to the largest extent have the best interest of their daughters at heart. All right. They are looking at what is more essential, what is more important in marriage, which is your upbringing, your family background, how you were raised, how your family role, okay, the belief of your family, how your family treats strangers, how your family treat other people that they are married to. These are some of the things they are looking into. That's why when Sister Buki was talking about preference, I was just trying to see preference around what actually the look, which was what I said earlier on, preference around the look and the job that she's doing. Okay, the look and the job. I'm not trying to trivialize those things as unimportant, but we see how that is driving us today, by the way. And this is why I said earlier on that, okay, after look, the next question we usually ask is, what do you do? Then we ask religion, okay, and what do you like to do for fun? I'm telling you, this is how we toast each other these days. Okay, the first thing, the look, what do you do? Okay, where are you from? I'm telling you, toasting today. Ask anybody, how else do they toast? Omar, have they toasted you recently? Am I lying?
You know,
That's
Kelly,
not they toast me with their
Kelly,
manhood, Mr. Kelly. So it's different.
Kelly.
They will just send me one picture, I will open it, and it will be somebody something
Oh,
under there.
yeah,
Yes.
they are not
A lot.
toasting you.
Send
They are
send
flirting.
their
Especially on
dollar to me.
Facebook
That's how they
Kelly,
toast
and
you
me.
are so
Instagram.
right. You are so right. Recently, somebody tried to talk to me on Facebook. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? What do you do for a living? That
Where
was
are you
the
from?
most, not even where am I from, not even, nothing like that. It was all, no, it was all, what do you do for a living? So I could not help but respond. Is that the first line of questioning? What I do for a living? Right? I said, let me put that question back to you. What do you do for a living?
For a
And
living.
I heard all the imports and I supplied, and I said, okay, so it seems like that's what you needed to put out there first. What you do for a living, and also want to know what I do for a living. So my response was, I'm a liver of life. You know, I
I live life. That's a very perfect answer.
thank God I'm alive and I'm a liver of life. You know, and needless to say, it was block delete for me because I'm like, that's the first thing that you jump out at me. What do you do for a living? I'm like, Jesus Christ, and it's not like this person was a young person, probably old like me, asking me this question. What do I do for a living? I am a liver of life, baby. I live.
Who did you just call old now? Who
Kelly,
did
I
you
need the
just call old
cleansing
now?
minutes, please.
Wait, who did you just call old? Is the choice of word I didn't like? Who
Okay.
says Peter is old? Please, 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 please. Not on this.
Well, I want to thank you, my dear brother Ron, for the
Okay,
compliment.
I'm about to.
However,
I'm about to. Okay, we're about to round off. We've already crossed the 2 hour mark because this thing gets interesting and we get carried away and we keep talking. So please, if you are still watching, we want our likes and subscription on Facebook. Sorry, I need the subscription on YouTube because I need to hit 1,000 subscribers before February. There's no other way
oh
I can do
boy.
it through you guys. So we are still at 92. So please help subscribe. And if you're watching wherever you're watching from, just click the like button and leave your comment after the show. If you feel we said something you didn't agree with, or you have a stronger opinion that we did not explore, it's okay. Leave it at the comment section. We'll still go to the comment section and debate. So thank you, Bukola. Madam Bukola, for coming. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Binta, for coming. Thank you. Omo with me, my new engine room. Hey, always pushing. And Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly too is my
Mr.
teacher.
Kelly.
Mr. Kelly too is my teacher. Mr. Kelly
I'm
too.
telling you.
Yeah, I'm having a program with Mr. Kelly. I don't know why he's just pushing me down. But there's going to be a very instructive program from Mr. Kelly this coming week. So just you guys should watch out for it. Whenever it's ready, I'll let you guys know.
The
And
castle.
thanks Ifeanyi for joining. Thanks Sister Buki. Thanks Ogab, James Bagudu, and thanks there's somebody that we're missing. Yeah, Daddy Team. That's my Cape Town daddy, and Shehu Sean, and I think we're missing one more person, aren't we? Okay. Person we are missing, I'm going to thank you in the comment section. So until we have this, now it's every Saturday. We don't do Wednesday podcast again. It's every Saturday same time. No more Wednesday broadcast on this for this channel. Only Saturdays. So it's a good time to do streaming. So until next time, we'll come back here and have
Before
very
we do until next time, what are we saying? Can we do a conclusion? What are we saying in essence? Are we saying it's
yeah,
not,
in essence, okay. Sorry.
yeah? What are
In
we
essence, if done properly, right? If done properly and done the accurate way, arranged marriage is actually best. And when I say done properly, make sure all procedures are followed. Don't go and do stuff that you brought two people to come and have sex. That's not arranged marriage. That's not arranged marriage. Real investigation, thorough investigation, background check. It's see if ancient people can be doing background checks on prospective spouses, then who are we today with all the technology, information, and knowledge we have now? So it has to be done. It's very important. Then, if done properly, I don't see anything. I don't. We've all agreed that there's nothing wrong with arranged marriages, provided it's done the proper way. Um, Bukola, did we hit it? Did I hit it well?
Yeah, it's okay. I just want us to have like a conclusion. I think
Yeah.
Mr. Kelly wants to say something too.
Oh well, for me it's pretty simple. I just feel like God. The truth of the matter is the way I'm a big respecter of our ancient parents, our ancestor. I'm a big respecter of culture from the past. Okay, and I guarantee you, if we can put more time, and I'll tell you why I'm saying this thing, if we can invest a little more time to understand things from an epistemology standpoint from the past, okay, it will guide us into even more knowledge on how we should be doing things today, right? And why I'm saying this is, I think the new agers, okay, have a way of dismissing our ancient parents or grandparents as primitive and unwise people. Do you understand? So whenever anything is brought up from the past, they just have a way of discarding it immediately as unimportant, or there's no valuable lessons to learn from it. And that remind me of this quote by Einstein. Oh no, not Einstein. By Newton, where he said that for me to see this far, I had to stand on the shoulder of giants. And the people that he's referring to as giants are the people from the past that have done the work that he looked into to gain more knowledge on how to do things even better. So I'm saying that arranged marriage wasn't a primitive concept. That's just what I'm saying. It's a concept that you see we are practicing, we are bringing it back today. We are remissing it. Things used to go on circle. Okay, we are bringing back that concept today. We are remissing it. We are calling it hookup and matchmaking today. But when I look at the process, you see we are not making progress in our matchmaking and hookup today. Okay, maybe much more work needs to be done around background check. More than background check means not limiting it to the individuals. We can extend it to the family background, okay, which is what our Asian parents were doing. So that is just my take. We can, for people like Bukola who is into matchmaking, there's more job now for you guys to be doing around background check, not just background check of the individual, but
Honestly,
even where the
Mr. Kelly, I do it. Honestly,
all right.
there was one I did in Manitoba. You need to see what I discovered at the end of the day. So thank God I went extra miles talking to people around him. You know, he was so surprised how I got his pastor's number, how I got his auntie's number. I spoke with, I was so surprised what I discovered at the end of the day. Sometimes it's all lies, and sometimes we get something good out of it. I try my best to do it, but sometimes it's not even sufficient because people are so coded. But you know, I try my best, honestly.
Thank you very much. So that is just my take on the subject matter there. Okay. It is just an avenue for us to put in more work, okay, and do more so that marriage can be more successful. And it's also for those who are intending to be in marriage to also do their work and stop limiting marriage to just me and my man. I don't want my family. I don't care about his family. I don't care about our family. Okay. We must know this, that it's very important for you to care, because when it start happening, you will look around and you will see people to come for your rescue. Then you make your individual mistake and make your individual error and suffer the consequence alone. Nobody to fall back on. Okay, so just don't underestimate the value of the background of who you are marrying to. Very important. In fact, if the person is good, if the person is bad and their background is good, you stand more chance than when the background is bad and the person is good. All right. So I'm just saying, just look at it somehow, Sha. We can do better. All right,
I
Mr.
think,
Ron.
okay, so with having said this, I think we should, the next topic will have to be vetting, because I think most of this problem we've discussed is all based on the vetting process of who we're entangling with or who we're marrying or getting involved with. So it's a good one. I think we'll discuss vetting, how to pick a spouse, or how to allow your family do the proper thing. And again, if you know and again, apart from the fact that you are not supposed to date or marry a coded person, if the family says they don't like you, please don't proceed. Don't say I love him, I need to marry him. The family don't. Once the family has told you they don't like you, just hands up immediately for your own good. So I'm going to round up again the second time. I hope I didn't miss anything before I round up the final time.
Nothing.
Okay. So until we come back again next week to have this wonderful conversation and fun time, I remain Ron, and I've thanked everybody already. So goodbye and see you next Saturday. Oh, did I say next Saturday? Oh, sorry. On the channel, I do reaction videos. Sorry, I keep forgetting. Go through the videos I've done. Leave your comments and all that. Any opinion you have, leave your comments on the comment section. So, Buki, as always, you are very wonderful. I really appreciate you. Honestly, I really appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Okay. Okay. Bye.